Alon is one of the resident DJs, so we arrived at the Nova Music Festival on Friday, the 6th, actually, because he was the opener. So we were there for a long time before, and his set was crazy, and just like we just immediately ran to the dance floor. But you know, like because of that, he also had another gig before Nova, so he just like after his set, he was like, all right, I just wanna rest for a bit, and then in the morning we'll go crazy. And we just set up a tent, and he went to sleep after his set. And during the night, I came to him like, please come dance with me. Like I want to have fun with you. Let's dance together. And he had this weird feeling, something in his stomach. There was like, no, really, I feel something is weird is going on. I want to sleep. And the craziest thing was, even 1 week before Nova, like he's a resident, right? That's his family, his friends, everything. He said, I have a weird feeling about Nova. I don't think I want to go. And I was like, okay, but you're playing, like we have to go. And also I was so hyped about this party, like there's no way I wasn't going, like really. But that's the craziest thing now that we look back, like he had this weird feeling about Nova, but nobody really realized like, okay, what's this weird feeling? Like, I don't know, but like in 6:29 a.m., you know, when the attack started, I woke him up like shaking and crying, like, all right, listen, I'm not kidding now, wake up. There are rockets in the sky. And he just calmed me down, like, okay, don't worry, it happens from time to time, like that's normal, right? We're actually from the central district. We're from Netanya. We're originally from Petah Tikva, but we're living in Netanya. So you know, we barely experience those sudden attacks. You know, it's like not something we're used to. So I woke him up like shaking and crying, like what we're gonna do, and he calmed me and like comforted me, like everything's okay. Let's just breathe and wait for everyone to like go, and then we'll be able to just leave quietly, and don't worry, it happens, everything's okay. But you know, in the festival there were 4,000 people, so imagine all of those people trying to escape at once. Obviously a lot of chaos, a lot of the traffic on the 232 road was insane, and people were crying and running and screaming and looking for their friends, and it just chaos, really. But we actually stayed in the party area until 7:20 a.m. When we started to hear a massive gun sounds. And then we were like, okay, something's going on, but we weren't really sure what was going on, because usually we're like, okay, gun sounds, we're near Gaza, probably IDF, like everything's normal. Nobody really realized what was going on. So around 7:20, we got in the car. We were parked in the artist parking, so that's something we had easy access to. So we got in the car, and we actually drove to Gaza because we didn't really know. We saw the traffic lights. We were like, all right, let's go the other way, because again, we didn't know. And we drove for a second when his friend called him, like, go back now, turn away, like turn back now. And he just did like a Tokyo drift, like we just like we got back because we saw vehicles getting shot down from where we were heading. So his friend saw that, so he was like, all right, go back now. And we actually returned to the party area, and then like more massive gun sounds, and we saw this lady besides us. She was like, she said in the most assertive and calm voice, she said, like, I think you should go now.
Like an angel.
Yeah, like an angel, definitely. Like, I think you should go now. And we're like, okay, what about you? She said, don't worry about me, I'll be fine. And She was actually the start of our escape, but I have no idea if she's alive or dead because she was so calm. She was like, "I'll be here. Don't worry about me. Just go." And from there, our journey began. We just like drove into the fields near the party, and you know, that was the first time that we actually saw people getting shot down and like running and getting shot down and begging for their lives. And from there we knew it was a life-threatening situation, that something really big is going on. We were there in the fields for like 3.5 hours. We really didn't know where to go, what's the right way, like should we go left or right? That was a choice, really, as easy as that. Is it left or right? But we actually made all the right choices, and that's stuff that, you know, like sometimes we think to ourselves, like, what if we made a slightly different choice? Like, what if we took the left turn instead of the right? Well, like, would we still be standing here today? Like, that's crazy stuff that we actually think about from time to time, but thank God we got all the right choices. But it doesn't, we still saw things that sometimes prevent us from sleeping. We're being taken care of if that's something that you're thinking about. I'll get to it in the end. Anyway, so after like 3.5 hours, we managed to get to a road using the satellite. Like there was no reception, nothing, and we managed to get to a road that was, listen, at some point we were still trying to figure out where the gun sounds came from, but there's constant rockets above our head, and we didn't really know what's the right thing to do, because, you know, like when there's rockets, the right thing to do, according to Picud Aoref, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it. Yeah. Their instructions are to leave the vehicle, because, you know, if a rocket hits you, like, and stuff like that. But Alon was so assertive, and also because he slept during the entire night, he was so focused. Like, imagine that, like, he had this weird feeling. He said, all right, I'm gonna sleep. And he woke up to the craziest, weirdest situation, but he was so, all right, let's do it. I'm on the wheel. I'm gonna get you out of it. Like, he was so assertive, and I trusted you with my life, and you crazy. But yeah, he was so focused, so like, all right, we're gonna get out of it. And he just drove. He wouldn't let ourselves to be a standing target for just even a second. We just drove and drove. We didn't know where, but we managed to get to a road. There were so many holes in the road because of the rockets and everything. But we wanted to get to Alon's father's house. It was in Netivot, but the road was closed because there were terrorists there. So they forced us to go through Tzelim area, if you know this area. And we managed to get to Mitzpe Ramon, to Alon's family. And we stayed there for a few days. That was the most stressful days in my life, because at this point we're still trying to figure out who's alive, who's dead, whose phone has died, and that's why it's not picking us up. And we just saw the list of the people arriving to different yeshuvim, like Patish, that's a yeshuv in the southern area, and, you know, looking for the names. And I saw a few of my friends there, so we knew they were safe. But it's nobody really ever prepares you for a situation that in just 1 week you're moving from one funeral to another, from Shiva to Shiva, trying to comfort friends and families who've lost their dearest, but you still need to take care of yourself, because you've gone through something, you know? You're really trying to be supportive and be there as much, but you know, so much to deal with. We lost 6 friends. Bar Lior, Ili, Solomon, Papalanam, Amit Magnezi, Shenab Yaakov, and Bar Iman. Yeah. in Bar hostage, and she was murdered in Gaza. We still have a few friends held in Gaza, and we really pray for their return. But you know, it's as the days goes by, and the government seems to don't care. I guess we're losing hope. You know, we're really trying to be optimistic as much as we can, but you know, like looking at the facts, it's kind of hard. So yeah, it was a very tough week. You know, funerals, like you having to decide which funerals you have to go, because like there's so many, and in so many different locations. We had this situation where we're in Kfar Yona, and we have two friends who got murdered, and we went to the funeral home, we went to bury them, and then we came back to the funeral home because there was another funeral. And that's stuff that it just messes up your brain, because like that's a situation I've never been in. Yeah, and I want to tell you a bit more about Bar Lior and Amit Magnesi, two of our friends who have lost. They were just the definition of love, really. We try to see our friends who've lost in the most happiest, like they were always smiling, always dancing, always in a good mood, and that's how we want to remember them. We don't wanna see all the bad stuff that they might have experienced just before they've left us, but we want to see all the good things, all the happy memories we have with them, and we really miss them. They were just angels, and we really miss them. Yeah, and I really, we just want to thank them for all the great memories we have together, and I hope they're in a better place. But yeah, Golda Meir once said, us Jews, in our, I don't remember the, no, that's, in our battle with the Arabs, we have a secret weapon, and that's, we have no other place to go. And that stuff, I heard it in an interview, I don't remember, it really got into me, because that's as simple as that. That's our secret weapon. We have no other place to go, and we're strong. Even though we're here to stay, even though everything that happened to us, like, yeah, it's like, you know, in Hebrew we say, Am hanetzach lo mefached miderech haruka. You know, like as Jews, the eternal people, we're not afraid of a long journey. We're strong, we're united. We're just the definition of love, you know, like that's how we want to spread love and spread happiness. Like, even though the trauma is very still present in our lives, we try to navigate. We know that it's not going to go away, but we learn how to live with it. And that's something that I want to give out to you today, that even though all we've been through, we're still trying to smile and to return dancing. That's one of the most important things that we that's the stuff we're really trying to do in our life right now, you know, return dancing. And that was quite hard at first, but you know, seeing you yesterday, making all those people move, and it just like, it makes me so emotional, because I know how hard it's been for you to listen to trance, even, because at some point the trance scene, the trance music was, all right, what if I listen to trance and then something bad will happen again? It was something that it's like, it's traumatic, but we actually managed to take it out of the trauma and make it our own, make it back something that makes us happy, and something that's ours and not them, theirs.
And it really heal the people when you make them happy, and dancing. All my gigs and the last half a year, after the 7 October, I just played my music and for the survivors, and you can see that it's really healed them. It's the really thing that healed them, and we're here to spread our love, and we will dance again. We're already dancing again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Noah or DJ Jackalon? Alon, which do you prefer?
Alon, it's my name. Jackalon is my stage name.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Whatever you want.
For Alon, DJ Jackalon, happy to answer any questions if anybody has any questions.
I just want to say you both so resilient, and thank you for coming here and sharing with us. Recently, I was up with the one, we were in a solidarity mission, and we went to Re'im, to the site, and it was quite horrific to see the site when we were there. It was, I think, one of the most hardest place to be, and to see all these beautiful, like you, that lost on that day. But my question for you today is, how did actually you think it's affected? I know there's a lot of circles that have been affected with family, with friends, and do you think all of you really get the support that you need right now?
I think, first of all, about the Re'im, we actually we need to go. We didn't go because it was we haven't been because it was too much for us, you know. Just visiting his dad in Netivot and driving through the roads we used to escape, that was like we couldn't. So step by step, you know. We are getting some support from the government, you know, Bituach Leumi and recognition. But I think the Nova production itself is doing the most. They feel they're not responsible, obviously, but they're the production, and they're just doing anything they can to help the mourning families, the survivals. There's a therapeutic space that they set up that it's been going since October 7th for every week. At first it was every day, but then it became like twice a week, and now it's once a week. And there are psychiatrists there, and like massages, and like healers, and art, and like everything that you can like set your mind off whatever happened. And recently they just gradually got everyone to return dancing, and that's something that was very emotional for us, because at first it was just, all right, let's focus on removing the trauma from your life, but now it's like, let's start dancing again. So Alon actually played in that therapeutic space the day before we came here. Yeah, on Wednesday he played, and on Thursday we came here, and it was amazing. And he actually got an Instagram message saying, I haven't danced like that since October 7th. And you know, that's why we do this. That's why this
is our duty.
Yeah, this is our duty, definitely. And the Nova itself is doing so much for us, and we really appreciate it, because that's where we get to see our friends, we get to see our loved ones, the familiar faces that we see in every party, and that's where we mostly get the support we need. But yeah, the country helps too. So we're also, like we said, we're being taken care of. We escape together, we heal together, we do this journey together, we do everything together since like we moved in together. I don't want to leave you since then, you know. And that he's my healer. That's how we heal. But for our friends, we know that they get the support they need from the government and from them.
Just following on from that, I was just going to ask, firstly, thank you very much for coming and sharing the story. And following on about the support, is there anything else us diaspora Jews can do for you as for your healing, and is there anything that we can do to help?
Okay. What Alon said, just the government, there's a lot of bureaucracy, you know. I hear a lot of my friends' stories that I know they're hurt, even more than I am. You know, that's so many varying degrees of stuff that people have seen mentally, physically, like emotionally, and I know that sometimes the bureaucracy just gets people to not do anything because it's hard. So, like I said, the Nova production is doing so much more. They're doing the best they can to let everyone to be seen. So I think if you could focus, like explore more about what the Nova does for the survivors, for the mourning families, I think that would be the most effective for us.
Okay, so if you don't mind me asking, so for example, there are people who are psychologists and would you want them to contact Nova and then say that they'll do Zoom from here and help? Is that something, or do you just want money? Do you know, like, just because there's people here who want to support you and help.
I have to say, because we've done the tribute to Nova, what they need, to be honest with you, and that's the Nova production itself is money. Because to do a Zoom slightly like they have, but I think they need just money to operate, and they have their own, you know, so that would be really helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the answer to this, but is this part of what you're referring to? Is this part of Beit Nova, the Nova Foundation, or is that something different? Do you know? Where there's a large healing space that they're creating?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I guess there is a Nova Foundation.
Yeah.
I just, from what I know, they launched a website that everything, all the information is right there. So about that, I really want to say that, like, the government, they paid, they gave us a very small amount. Just if for us, it feels like, all right, take it and like.
Is that the one in Petah Tikva?
What, the Nova?
The center that you get treatment?
Oh, it's always moving. Right now it's in Lake Tel Aviv. It was in Chavat Ronit, it was in Binyamina, it was in Caesarea. It keeps on moving.
It's called the Nova Tribe.
Yeah, the Nova Tribe, Nova Gathering. There's a lot of different names, but so I think the most effective way you could help yourself, you could help us. It's really through the Nova and like the donation. It comes to us in every way. So yeah, thank you.